Hi, thanks for joining us. In my first episode, I covered what to expect from a traditional representation lawyer when you hire them. And then in my second video, I did a deep dive into how to use legal services a little bit differently. Now, in today's video, what I'm going to cover is how to use these collateral service providers, so not lawyers, to help you navigate your separation and divorce more efficiently and more effectively. I will cover how can these collateral service professionals help you? How can they not help you? For example, when do you actually need to go and get legal advice? And where can you find them? I'm Laurel Dietz, and I'm a family law lawyer in Victoria, British Columbia. I run an exclusively legal coaching based family law firm. Join me on my mission to create 100 YouTube videos about how to navigate your separation and divorce like you know what you're doing. Let's make this a quick one. Okay, so you're separating. You've decided you're not going to hire a traditional representation lawyer. That's not for you. You'd like to use your legal services a little more strategically. So then what? What kind of help is available out there for you to navigate these kind of tricky situations? First, there's the money people. Okay, these are going to be accountants or financial planners who are specialized in helping people going through separation and divorce. You're going to look for a particular designation, Certified Financial Divorce Specialist, CFDS. There's not that many of them, so you might have to defer to someone who knows your financial situation, maybe an accountant you've worked with, but is familiar with separation and divorce. Now, the money people in your life, what they're going to do is they're going to help you become more financially literate. So if you're in a position where your spouse has done all the financial planning and done all the managing of the family finances, you're going to need to get knowledgeable pretty quick about what your family finances are. So this is where the accountant or a financial planner comes in very handy to help you learn what's going on in your family finances and can help you plan for the future. So if you're working with a financial planner or someone with the CFDS designation, then they can help also do projections for you so that you can understand or plan for the future. If you're working on various proposals going back and forth, let's say you're already in the midst of negotiations with your ex, you're going to be able to use this financial planner with the CFDS designation to get a better sense of what the projections are for your life in the next 10, 12 years if you agree to a particular settlement proposal. Even without this particular designation, a financial planner can help you put together financial goals and plans for the future. If you have a better understanding of what you want your future to look like, then you're going to be able to go into negotiations with much more confidence and much more ability to negotiate for an outcome that is going to serve you. The most common mistake, and I will go into I'll do a video in the future about common mistakes I see, but the most common mistake and the hardest thing to get people to do is to think forward instead of backwards when they're going through their negotiations for their separation divorce. It's really hard to know what to negotiate for if you don't know what you want your life to look like in the future. So working with a financial planner or an accountant to put together a plan for your financial well-being going forward is a good place to start. Use the financial people to understand your finances and develop your goals for the financial goals for the future. What you cannot use your financial people for is the strategy for how to approach your negotiations or what legally you might be entitled to on a separation or divorce. That's where your lawyer comes in. Now, if you have children, the other group of people are the parenting people. These are the people who are going to help you navigate those tricky parenting situations that come up on separation and divorce. So you're going to look for people who are social workers, counselors, psychologists, even people who work in the world of childhood development. You're going to use them to help educate you about what you can expect as far as how your children might react to the new situation. If you are working with a social worker or a counselor or someone who is very experienced with families going through separation and divorce, then they're going to be able to point out to you in advance of you making these mistakes. They're going to point out to you the pitfalls and common obstacles and challenges that parents face when they divide up their households. And they'll tell you, exactly what you can do, what plans, what conversations you can put in place to avoid these pitfalls. So if you understand these things in advance of putting together your parenting plan, and you talk about them in advance, you put together your plan, your expectations, you put it into writing, then you're going to be able to avoid a lot of co-parenting conflict in the future. What I will say is this: as a lawyer, often I have parents come to me after they have a separation agreement with issues that have come up since separation with their children. And more often than not, the issue is not a legal issue, it's a parenting issue. Their child is exhibiting new behaviors that they didn't anticipate or expect, and they don't know how to handle it when they're not just handling it in a single household. They need to handle it in two different households. So if you can get a good co-parenting relationship right um, from the outset by working with a social worker or a counselor or a mediator who's very experienced with these co-parenting matters, you're going to talk about a lot of problems before they even become problems and come up with a plan to solve them. So again, these are all professionals who can help you navigate your separation and divorce and help you anticipate issues before they come up and make sure that you don't have these issues. They do so by providing you with education. They provide you with abilities to think about a problem a little bit differently rather than a way that maybe a traditional lawyer might approach it, which could be very adversarial. I think that the root of many issues that come up through separation and divorce comes down to education. So if you can educate yourself on the financial side so that you truly understand what you're dealing with, and the parenting side so that you know different ways to address your issues, then you can get at them before they become major legal problems. Now, ideally, if you can access these services with your former spouse and use them collaboratively, that's great. But you're not restricted. If your ex does not want to access these services with you, then you're not restricted in going to get the advice. The advice will still save you a lot of money and legal fees down the road. For a lot of people, after they separate and divorce, communication becomes a real problem. And communication is at the heart of coming up with this plan to how to separate and divorce. So if you're struggling with communication, I do have a communication guide that's going to be available for purchase on my website. It's $25. I'll put a link in the description of the show. It's called Holding Your Own: How to Handle Communication with Your Toxic Ex. So it's for high conflict couples, but not only high conflict couples. Or there's a lot of information about how to communicate with specific scripts, tried and true scripts that I am often giving to my clients to navigate these difficult conversations and to try to get their spouse on board with a particular process or using a particular service provider, or simply just getting to the next stage of navigating your separation and divorce. So check that out if communication is a bit rocky in your relationship. Now, another service that I am offering is an online course, which will take you straight from separated to a separation agreement. So the separation agreement is not included, but what it includes is the process. So making sure that you cross off all your boxes. When you're not working with a traditional representation lawyer, you are the controlling mind. So that means that you need to know what to do. This online course is a great guide to walk you through from A to B, to manage every single step of the process and make sure you're not forgetting anything. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, please hit like, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do my best to get a video out every single week, just a short one on various problems or issues or ways to navigate your separation and divorce in the most effective way so that you can get on to enjoying your life. And again, don't be stingy. Share this show with a friend who might be going through separation or divorce if you think it might be of help to them. All right, until next time.